Alright guys, here we're talking about Season 2, Episode 8 of Iron Fist. Now this, for me, I thought was the best episode this season.
Oh shit, okay.
I can't put my finger on like a particular thing. I don't have like a fight like we had at the tattoo parlor that I'm like, oh this, but it had no things that I was like, God damn, this episode is just destroying me. Well, okay. I shouldn't say no. I shouldn't say no because there's a couple of minor things. Right. But I thought overall I was like, okay, we've gone in a direction that is positive.
Okay.
Things
really?
seem to be decent.
Do you watch the same episode?
I think so.
Okay.
Well, maybe you can remind me of something I'm forgetting that would make this a bad episode.
I took a disturbing amount of notes, which I'm just going to call mulligan and say those are useless.
Okay.
Because just to jump around, like I didn't love the it opens and she's like, your training is nearly complete.
Oh yeah, but that I washed that across the board because I was like, I knew that was gonna happen. Yeah. So like I was expecting.
Well, okay.
If it's already dumb that the man's walking, it's really stupid that he's training, and it's retarded that he's like okay, I need you to train me because I'm not the best fighter in the world already.
And she's like, your progress is amazing. And he's like, yeah, this brace, and she just goes, no, it's you. And I'm like, oh my god, who's writing this? I want to kill you.
Nothing even tells you how long it's been. There's no passing of time. Like Ward's son isn't born.
Okay, so that's the whole thing, right? Is like part of you wants to think, well, he's Cobra Kaiing all these.
It had to have been a long time.
Yeah, all these kids.
They've ripped from the shape. They're actually training. They've built a loyalty, a bond in this time.
And but Joy is there at Davos's hideout, and they're still talking like this is new. She doesn't have a place where she hangs out there. Has she been going home every night? Like what's happening? And Ward's buying flowers to make this up to her. As how long could that have been? So again, we're gonna forget about the timeline right now.
I didn't necessarily chart that as proof of it being a short period of time because Ward is not the most reliable person in general.
I know.
Who knows after he heard that news how long before he even sees her again?
How long could it have been though?
Weeks. It could have been.
It could have been weeks, I guess, but then I don't know about the other. Okay, so the whole thing with the training and then leading into the whole fight at the end and the whole thing about improving himself and emotions and all this stuff, I really did not like any of that.
The fight in the cage on the rooftop with the strings or whatever.
And
my problem with that was the amount of tape used to adhere those straps. Did you see how little the tape was?
I did.
It was like these little squares, like they were being cheap with it.
It's really funny that you mentioned something like that because that's the kind of thing that I would just choose to skip over. But here we are, we're doing it. So it was taped to her sweater that has the not the corduroy but the layers of material. There's very little surface area there that would never stay on.
No.
And they're doing flips and leg sweeps.
I don't know why
and
they
all this
wouldn't
shit.
just make it pins. If you safety pinned it, it would have been fine. And it's not
tear
like a
it
safety
off.
pin would make it impossible to come off. You yank a safety pin and come
You
right
want
off.
there to be a little bit of effort, otherwise it's just coming right off.
It was on and if you think about it, so the square's this big, and half of that has to be on the thing it's going to. So this much tape is holding them on your body.
A disturbingly low amount of tape, I agree.
Yeah.
But he rises to the occasion. He snatches all the flags, or she rings out, and all the stupid rule, whatever they set up, and she's like, "Aha! Now you're this thing." And then I think I wrote it down. This fucking stupid thing that he says. I only fight for the power of the dragon. It called to me.
Yeah, this is more of the thing you were talking about, where they're making it seem like he was so obsessed that it was affecting his personal life and everything, but they didn't really play up any of that before the fact that he lost it.
Do they think that they did that adequately and they're wrong, or is this just like incompetence? What's going on here? What do you think?
It's a combination, I would imagine.
Okay, because they can't think that they set this up. There's 3 lines of dialogue where Colleen says to Misty he's been going out every night or something like that. But
and that just seems like a normal diligent superhero. I don't
that's
think
the
anyone's
point of
going
being
crazy about it.
And it's kind of like with the Jessica Jones thing, where I'm like, if you want someone to be self-destructive, you have to show them letting down their people.
Yes.
Like he should have said, "Oh no, Rand has it covered, Colleen. Don't worry. The bake sale is going to be great. I set everything up." And then he doesn't show up, or the thing doesn't happen, and she's like, "What the fuck?" And he's laying there bruised up, and she's like, "Did you go out again last night? We had this thing today. What's wrong with you?" And he's like, "Colleen, you don't understand. I'm the Iron Fist." And this fucking thing, you had to set something up where they're where he's letting people down. He's like falling short because he's choosing that over this, and then when he loses it, he can have all these moments, right? It's like it's the most cliche perfect thing ever, and how could you fuck that up? It bothers me so much.
And then there's some comment that's dropped where it's like, okay, you can train me or something, but I don't know if we can even be together after this, or some bullshit. And I'm like, what does that even mean? Why?
Oh, that whole I hate this so much because I like Colleen and her character. I think there are good parts of Danny Rand when he does whatever his Green Arrow storyline. But this whole thing of like, well, I can train you, but then I'm turning back on my thing, and then we can't be together because now we are sensei and student and not this and that. Like it seems to be coming so out of nowhere. I don't like it. It's not good.
Something
I'm so
that,
sorry.
To track back to the taped pieces of fabric on their chest.
This is an important point we have to return back.
So just the game or the training is
Yes.
you gotta get the 3 things to win, right?
Yeah.
I feel like Danny should only have had one thing on him, because if he gets hit once, he's dead. So I don't understand.
Really training,
I don't understand how you could lose 2. I touched your chest twice means I could have punched you twice.
Yeah.
And we see Davos do a full force punch into a human, and we now know what that does. That he chest burst that.
It's like
dude.
punching a birthday cake. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
And great. No, it's literally insane. This whole thing, like he's on Dagobah, she's riding on his back. You have to challenge your inner demons. It's this whole stupid thing.
And
where I'm like, why are we doing this?
He has gone mad with the power of the fist.
Davos, yes.
And if we're to believe that Danny was even close to that, that was never communicated.
Thank you. I always think I'm missing something or whatever the fuck, right? So Portal 2, spoilers for Portal 2. They get a different artificial intelligence into the position of running the facility, but it turns out that the reason why the old artificial intelligence went crazy is because they reward its brain with pleasure whenever it tests people in this chamber or whatever the fuck. So your old ally turns against you. The elevator's rising to leave, and then he's maybe just one more test, and then it starts to lower again because it takes over his thing or whatever the fuck, right? There's ways to do this where you can instantly explain this whole other thing by showing now, right? And this happens a million times in a million animes and superheroes. When Lex Luthor gets Superman's powers and Superman loses them, and Lex Luthor in 3 days ends all wars and creates some sort of cadmium alloy that makes infinite energy and changes everything, but he's also killing people left and right. And everyone's well, is it better? Is it worse? This is a complex question we have to answer now, right? And then Superman gets the powers back and wins because heart is better than whatever, right? This is super easy to do. It's right there, just do it. But they had 3 lines of dialogue, and now they're trying to backfill where Colleen says, well, he's going mad with the power of double fists or whatever.
Yeah, Danny should have accidentally injured people or done something, or oh, I had to knock over that wall to stop this person, and that homeless guy died, blah, blah, blah. It was collateral damage. Something should have happened to make it seem like there was ever a problem, because I don't think there's any issue with him going out every night. I think he should go out every night. If he's saving people every night, what is the issue? If no one ever gets hurt except maybe your feelings because he's not home, what is the issue?
Yeah.
I think you have the issue.
No, you had no personal life or professional life thing. You could have had interactions with Ward listen, man, you're still the majority stakeholder, right? What's going on? You're not showing up to stuff. We're having meetings here. This is important. You left me in charge, but what are you doing? You're moving furniture? This is ridiculous. You're ignoring this. Show things
the
going
idea that he
bad
even has the ability to have a job for fun means he's certainly just a productive member of society. What is your issue here?
Yeah, there's so many bad things. And Davos was crazy before the fists.
Yes.
We're not even showing him changing and being taken over by the power of the
dumbest thing
fists.
about Davos for me is that Davos wanted all these things. He really did not gain that much by getting the fist. He could have done all these things already.
It's just a license to do it or whatever.
Because it's not keeping him safe in any way. It's just allowing him to effectively kill things more. So what actually changed that enabled Davos to do these things? Nothing.
No, so we said this a lot, where and maybe Iron Fist in the comics is explained more or differently or something like that. You said you didn't read it. I obviously didn't read it, so I have no idea. But again, it wasn't really properly communicated that Danny has superhuman healing or resistance or even speed, right? He just has the fist and is really badass, right? That's how it was communicated to me.
Let's say
I don't know what show you watched.
You know,
or you watched.
a moderate amount of karate.
Yeah,
right?
as I do.
And I duct taped pistols to each one of your hands. You would have the ability to Iron Fist somebody and get them from a distance.
Yeah.
I feel like you would effectively be potentially more powerful.
I would be like
especially
lead
in a
fist.
group. Yes.
Yes.
It doesn't do it for me.
No, so like, do you remember? And this is the retarded shit that I do because I'm always trying to write like a different show whenever I watch any show, right? So you remember when he like set up the door in like the basement, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be like John dies at the end. He's gonna charge up his fist, but then like open it, and he's gonna grab the door and like pull it open. He's gonna go to like Kunlun or like talk to like the old masters or some weird shit
God, no.
with like making like a doorway or something like that, right? Or maybe that's how he heals himself. He like takes his like glowing hand and like lays it on and like he like like can like recover things.
Mr.
Or
Miyagi,
fucking,
that shit.
Yeah, like Jackie Chan rubbing it and like healing that way, something, right? Maybe that's how he like heals when like someone else gets hurt, right? Maybe Joy or Walker or like Colleen gets hurt, and then he realizes he can like Neo and like heal their wound with his like, oh, it's the power of Kunlun. It's like focused chi. It can do anything. It's this like great thing or something like that. But like none of that, nothing's happening at all. So there's no explanation for why any of the thousands of people in the city with guns that are constantly shooting Luke Cage and Daredevil can't just shoot one of these guys in the head or something like that. And again, that was fine when you were fighting like spider ladies in like the Cave of Wonders or whatever, but now that we're just doing gang stuff, I don't understand, and if the show was good, I wouldn't care about any of this.
No, and your average man does do things. So like I'm like, okay, he could be dodging bullets. He could not put himself in that position. He could quickly disarm people. There could be a thing. But if you keep putting him in a situation where people are a gun's distance away from him,
he's a wanted man.
Why wouldn't that work? And I don't dislike the character so much. I just want things to be a little bit more logical in the world.
So,
like he's Danny Rand. He's rich. Give him a bulletproof suit.
I know.
How hard would that be? Randtech, best of technology.
Yeah. Actually, have something happen with a suit. If you can't get back that same guy, say like you found this like guy's technology, the guy that made the bulletproof suit, whatever his name was, right? Have that go into that whole thing.
If he can't beat random guy number 6 who's in an apartment doing things, I don't understand what's even happening.
Yeah, or that guy had some like special wove alloy thing or something like that. I don't know, whatever.
He's got knee braces that cure paralysis.
Yes,
he could do anything.
I know, exactly. And
make a whole suit of that.
Yeah, maybe. And like, I understand why you don't want every superhero to be exactly the same and have a suit and you want something different. But then you can use chi. You can make him have like a chi shield, but he has to be like charged and like drains him a lot and it like strains his personal relationships and like he like neglects stuff. That's so easy to do. It even almost happened. Okay. This all builds, though, I'm sorry, to like, he's like, I think you should have it, Colleen, or whatever. And she goes, what? And here's and this is like meta, right? Because I have a problem now. Because I know this show is canceled.
Yes.
And I know that I didn't see any tweets about how it was sexist that they canceled it instead of having a female Iron Fist. So I know that in the next 2 episodes, either Colleen dies or like he decides to have the fist after all, and I hate this. I would have been so excited to be like, great, I love Colleen. She's great. Fucking give her the fist. Get the fuck out of here. Go back to being a fake Iron Man rich guy.
I thought it would have been decent if she died in this episode, actually, because she went back like, oh, I'll hold him up. I'm like, why would you go to hold him off? What do you mean? That guy beat you before. If an old lady didn't stab him in the eye, you'd be dead.
Yeah.
And Davos is on his way. So what are you doing?
Right.
But she got away, by the skin of her teeth.
Yeah, well, she had to. Is that before or after the training? When does that happen?
That's before the training.
Before the training, yeah. No, because I kind of thought that she might, but then we can't do the obviously set up moment where like Misty shows up looking for Colleen and like the sword's gone or whatever, right?
Yes,
so I need
which
that
will
to happen.
Well, that would be why she dies. I think
she's gonna something's gonna happen, and she's gonna go up against Davos with her sword, and he's gonna like punch, maybe like break the sword or catch it with like a glowing red fist. Like something awesome, and then
picture
fucking just body her and kill her.
If I had to decide what would make her pick up the sword and die, it's that her little street rat friend gets her the bowl or gets somebody the bowl or whatever. Davos kills that kid. She goes to
You've betrayed me.
Yeah, she goes to get retaliation, and that's where she dies. Or the flip side, in the eventuality that she lives, it would be a thing where the season would end with her reopening the school and she's training that kid.
Yeah, he's like the first of the new students where it's like, we're going to start a new gang, a gang of discipline and responsibility, and we're going to take back the streets. Oh!
When that dude, like, who looks like the most murderous person in that group, possibly.
Oh my God!
Like slits that kid's throat.
He's like the
I was
ATL
like,
twins guy.
Is this
He's
guy
fucking crazy? Yes. Okay, so let's talk about that then.
All right.
We have the street rats. They go out on like a mission.
Their first mission.
There's fucking so like you get like the dude from before that had the shotgun on Colleen, and he like stomach punches BB, and they lock him up because he's like washing out. He's not down with the sickness, and they all go out. And Davos just straight up murders a guy.
Yeah.
And that same guy who and like this is good. Because he was like, hey, man, because he goes, BB, what the fuck, get with the program. And BB's like, yo, man, I don't know. So he fucking punches him and says, we got a weakling over here. Let's lock him up.
Yeah.
And then he goes out, and then Davos is like, no. And he's like, no, I know that dude. He was legit. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And then other guy just fucking takes care of him. That was great. This is good. I like this.
That was part of my like,
extreme.
oh, it's a good episode. Like, shit's happening I didn't expect.
There was so much you could have done with these kids that would have been infinitely worse than this, right?
And you see that Davos is like truly an insane person at this moment, where it's like he's rambling, like he doesn't even understand what he's saying.
No,
like,
that's bad.
You're not with me, you're against me, blah blah, something else. I'm trying to skirt you. You'd rather deal with it. I mean, I didn't say any of that. Why are you murdering me?
And that's the other. So like, there's two sides to that coin. Like him with that guy, not listening to that guy at all, right?
Yes.
And like, it starts early, right? Because he's been building to this. Because his like friend is like, well, you know, whatever, and then like, what does Davos say? Like, you know, you've like turned me loose on many of your enemies, but also many of your former allies. I will never trust you.
Yeah. And
that guy's like, all right, third floor, we're good. Like, fuck, whatever. And I'm like, shit.
He should get the fuck out of there.
No, and I think he's formulating a strategy, because later he's like, I'm a survivor, bitch. I see you moving in on my shit. One thing, I wrote your name in my book. I'm like, oh god, it's Death Note now. With Davos, it's amazing. So I'm like, that I all like. This like underhanded, like that's the strength of like the show, is when it's like battling for whatever. But Davos's interactions with Joy, and Joy's interactions with him, where she's like an abused spouse almost, coming at it, trying to like appease him. A lot of that was really good. I was on board with this.
I was watching that part just going, bitch, run!
I know.
Why are you waiting so long? Oh my god, get out of there!
Yes.
Like, the second he says something, act offended and go, well, I never, and just leave, because you're gonna die.
Well, she's covering for BB to get the bowl and all that
well,
stuff.
I know,
After that, you
but
mean? Yeah.
she saw him leave, and she didn't just jet. She was there for a few seconds.
Yeah.
Do you think that One Eye is gonna die now, thinking he's the betrayer?
Yeah. Oh, well, BB's gone. Was One Eye there the whole time? Did he not go with them?
He didn't go
stayed,
with them.
Right? Yeah, he's dead. Fuck. Yeah.
Probably dead, right?
Has to be. Well, that's justice, I guess.
Or he'll get like
thing.
beaten to almost death and go, it was Joy.
Right. It was you, Toretto!
And then he kills him because he gave him bad news.
No, he's just gonna kill him anyway. No, yeah, like Davos is like his unhingedness is like not cliche in like a way that I like. The way he's like, you know, like you're saying, like rambling, and like he's making connections and justifications. Well, now that you've done this, I can't do that, and all that stuff. And you're like, that doesn't what? And Joy's like, that doesn't what? Like it's this hard thing.
I still
where
can't get over the idea
trying
that he's
to be
Australian
like,
and doesn't
is
make sense to me.
Oh, okay. You mean like the way he sounds?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you meant like the actor was Australian. Yeah.
I haven't Googled it, but I would imagine he is, or he's doing an Australian accent for some reason.
His mother's Indian,
Yeah.
and I can't
And
tell.
his dad, I think, was Asian, right?
Yeah, and I can't tell his ethnicity, but he's doing a thing that no one else in the Kunlun flashbacks is doing. So
Yeah.
I don't know, right?
That's weird.
It isn't like Themyscira where they made up an accent because Gal Gadot's accent was her accent or something, right? This is some other thing where whatever.
Yeah.
Danny doesn't have the hint of an accent. Whatever.
Yeah. We're missing anything else in this episode?
We get a little bit of Ward buying the flowers, and again,
Yeah,
I like these.
I like
fucking
Ward.
I like these characters a lot.
He kind of had that realization, like he's like flowers aren't going to help me, and bought them and just left them. The only thing I thought would have made that part better
Sequence,
was he flipped past 100 to grab a 50, which was almost the exact bill.
It was like
I think he
45
should have given
or
the 100
Yeah.
because he's rich.
Interesting.
I think that would have played up to like money's useless, my life is shit. Take this, whatever.
I kind of like that though. I noticed that too, but I like that. And I really like the whole sequence of events of like keep the change, keep the flowers. And he's wearing like the Nick Cage in certain movies like has a lot of layers or whatever. He has the weird like coat and all the stuff, like a really good look for him and just sitting there or whatever. I like the detective work where Joy's like, it's in the credenza, this shelf or whatever. And then he goes in there and he's like, oh fuck, like this is a message. And he has the thing with Walker. And even the way he sits in the chair where he's just like, can we do this now?
Defeated.
I thought you didn't want to. And he's like, I know, but can you do, what if we did this? Can we do that? I'll make it happen. And then they make a deal and all that stuff. I'm super into all that. I'm down.
Yeah. Do you think Walker's gonna die?
Yes. I don't know.
You could honestly name anybody and say, "Do you think they're gonna die?" I'd be like, they could die. Like, I don't
Which
think
is
a
good.
lot of
That's a
people
good
are
thing.
safe and stuff. Like, honestly, only Danny really feels safe.
Yes.
Everyone else, I'm like, no, they could all die around him. Because like Joy could have died this episode. I'd have been like, "Yup,
Yeah.
they planned that."
No, and honestly, with the knowledge that the show is canceled, it even throws even more.
The
into
problem
that
is
mix
though,
of,
the
like,
whole
you
thing
know.
was filmed before it was canceled.
I
so
know.
so you don't get that. Like, they could have ended like,
I
tear
know.
down
Yeah,
this
yeah,
house of cards.
Right. That's not what I mean. I just mean that I don't even have to worry about them having to worry about how they're going to move on without that actor or
Yeah,
character.
it doesn't matter.
Because it's relevant.
Well,
or whatever, right?
potentially you could still get someone over, like, and I believe I heard Defenders is also not coming back for anymore.
Yeah.
So, like, anyone
Oh.
you did see would just be
So-
if they did call back Jessica Jones and Daredevil.
So we can have this like archive now of our stupid rumors and whatever we're hearing. The rumor I heard was Heroes for Hire on the new Disney
Streaming service, yeah.
Disney streaming services. So like rated PG.
But the
Luke
fact
Cage,
is
Danny
that will
Rand.
all be all different actors, right? So
No, hopefully these people would be
Oh,
the
I
idea.
heard-
Oh, I don't know.
the issue I heard,
Yeah.
are
they contracted to Netflix,
was that
or?
yeah, that's where the issue lied, and the person that was talking
Okay.
about this in this update
Gotcha.
was still speculating on some
Okay.
things, and they were saying the deal they originally had may have been between Netflix and Marvel,
Yeah.
and now that Disney's doing a thing, it might make it so they can't do that. But Disney also has enough money they could buy people out of anything.
Yeah. So, like, whether it's the same actors or not, what I heard was Heroes for Hire, rated PG, on the new streaming service, kicks off a new, like, street-level, low hero thing with underpowered people, nice little universe, right, on its own. Meanwhile, Daredevil and Punisher, rated R, like, go fuck you, the bullets, and hit me again, like fucking
Will stay
hardcore
on
fucking
Netflix.
shit, stays on Netflix. It's a separate universe. It's like, coughing up blood and fucking like flashbacks to PTSD and like hardcore shit. That's the separate universe. Or whatever.
Okay.
Where like Blade or like Ghost Rider or whoever else could fucking do their own thing
Sure,
or something
sure.
like that. And then Marvel keeps like the hey, happy stuff. So, and then everyone's like, what about Jessica Jones? And like, I don't know about Jessica Jones. Fuck.
Jessica Jones was the number
okay,
2
fine.
rated, I thought.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So
Okay.
she still has the potential of surviving.
Yeah.
But her season 1 was way stronger than her season 2 in terms of ratings.
Okay, I didn't
so
know that.
I don't know if that's going to hurt her or not.
So Netflix is not obligated, I think, to publish numbers, but they
No.
do publish something or whatever. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I wonder if that's. But I know, so like Punisher season 2 is already filmed, so I think
Yeah.
a lot of that rumored plan would hinge on how well that does or something
Sure.
like that. But I like John Bernthal in the role, and I hope that.
Yeah, I would
goes.
foresee that going
Yeah.
well.
And it makes sense where they're like, this is our R-rated offshoot universe. We have
Uh-huh.
no plans for Punisher. We have no plans for Daredevil. So just like leave them there.
I would
or
like
whatever,
that
right?
for everything to have
Yeah.
an R-rated version that continue to live
Like-
on in Netflix.
Like Titans. No, I'm
well,
joking.
not like Titans, but you know
don't
what I
even
mean.
know if
Like
that's rated. Yeah.
I don't know that it hurts you to have two things happening. I feel
No.
like anybody who would enjoy the R may also enjoy the PG version.
Yeah.
But you're not losing any business because one exists and not the other. Like no one's like, I can't watch Daredevil if they make a
Well,
kids Daredevil. It's not possible.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the argument is that it's confusing or something, but like I
If
think
they stay on different services, it's not.
I think DC has proven that like you can push it much farther than that with an animated thing and a cartoon for kids and a CGI cartoon and a thing,
Yeah.
and then have like Ben Affleck show up and like who is Batman now? Like what the fuck's going on? Like so there's it could be far worse. So I agree. Like you could still have what's his name show up as Luke Cage on Daredevil somehow, and no one would be like, well, yeah, of course. And then you could still have a different dude
Yeah.
playing him on the new streaming thing for kids or whatever.
I
right?
actually love the idea of that. Like the same actors in an
Yeah.
R and a PG. Like
Right? Yeah.
that's
Well, so we live in the future, so maybe stuff like that can actually happen
yeah,
now,
it's
right?
possible.
But this is all rumors or whatever. At this point, this just informs us as far as like predictions for the show, because I don't know. There was one more Walker's plot line, right? We get filled out
Yeah.
with her backstory more. We know what's happening.
Kind of.
Did you freak out? Were you like, is it going to be the Punisher?
I did again think I'm like, okay, they haven't shown it, but what I do think they're gonna set up is for a third personality that is just this fucking
badass.
uber beast
Yep.
that just unloads and eventually goes ham on Davos,
Yep.
but loses or something.
No, that's what's going to happen. Obviously, that's going to.
Yeah. But if
that's
if
what's
we
gonna
could
happen.
go back in time and make it the Punisher, I think that would be wonderful.
I know that's such an obvious thing. That's great. I hate
Yeah.
so okay. long story short, what I hate most about all of this is that the writers created a situation, and then we had to then write our way out of the situation in this awkward way, right? We had to have Danny get hurt, but then we had to have him get unhurt for some reason, right?
Yeah.
Like, the whole reason for the training could have been for his like emotional stability. That's what they kind of turned it into. If you cut out all of the scenes where he hurts his leg or he has his leg brace, nothing would change. She's still like, you have to overcome your like baggage about Davos, right?
Yeah.
That's what it could have all been about. So why did he even hurt his leg in the first place?
I think the training should have been more specifically like, okay, you have to fight a fight where you do not get hit once.
Yeah.
That's what the training should be,
exactly.
because if he gets hit once, the fight's over. It's like it's unarmed fighting a guy with a sword essentially. You need a different strategy. So she should have like dipped her hands in paint or something, and if any paint got on him,
he's dead.
He lost. Start over.
Right.
And that should have been it.
I love that. I also would have accepted he has to balance his chi and like get over his emotional, like you can't hesitate, you have to do this, you have to hit me even though you love me, like you have to do this. And then like in that journey, he reconnects to the dragon and he has his fist back.
And Colleen dies.
And he and he fucking turns her into grape jelly. Yeah, I know. That would be good too. Anything would be better. We have 2 episodes left. I can't imagine where this is going.
It has to really. A lot of things have to get tied up.
Yeah.
Or a lot of things were leading up for a cliffhanger
Massive
that are never going to get tied up.
That we'll never see the end of. No, and I know. And like to your point, anyone could die, and that's good, I guess, right?
Yeah.
We'll see. I guess Misty makes it out alive because why would she die? She's been sort of toned down. But
she loses her other arm.
But, well, it's like, when you have a character that has a fake arm, you can do something where she gets into, like, a tussle, and now it's, like, wires hanging out, and she gets, like, mortally wounded for fakely, right? Star Wars style. So that's nice. But there's so many ways this could go. I have no idea what's going to happen. And I can't wait to find out.
Yeah. I'm just going to ride it out. I'm not going to make a ton of predictions here. We're just going to see what next episode
No, I think
brings.
we fully explored both in and out of universe the possibilities here.
So that's this episode, guys. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we will see you next time for episode 9.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.